Have you ever imagined the United States launching a full-scale attack on Greenland? Most people dismiss it as impossible, but the reality would shock the world. Picture this: silent ice sheets stretching for thousands of miles, suddenly under threat of missiles and bombs. The silence of the Arctic would be broken forever. Here's what most people miss. Greenland isn't just ice. It's a strategic pivot, controlling the Arctic, global surveillance, and untapped resources. Personally, I've studied military maps and global strategies for years, and the scenario is far more dangerous than you think. Geography doesn't care about your weapons. Greenland is 80% ice. Moving troops, tanks, or heavy equipment across it is almost unimaginable. Logistics alone could derail even the most powerful military operation. Show map. But imagine if the US tried anyway. Missile strikes, cyber attacks, and air raids designed to cripple Greenland's defenses. The ripple effect would reach every continent. Here's a fact. Thule Air Base in northern Greenland is one of the US's most critical military outposts outside the mainland. Destroy it, and global surveillance falters. An attack here wouldn't just be about territory, it's about crippling missile defense systems, radar networks, and early warning stations. Imagine the panic in capitals worldwide. Dramatic emphasis. And what about the environment? Bombing ice sheets triggers flooding, alters ocean currents, and accelerates climate change. This isn't a local problem. It's planetary. Personally, I've reviewed climate models. Any significant disturbance in Greenland's ice would destabilize coastlines, the fisheries, and weather systems across the globe. Historically, Greenland has been a strategic pawn. During World War II, the US maintained bases here to monitor Nazi submarines. Today, the Arctic is even more valuable. Satellites orbiting above, missiles ready, ice-covered terrain below. The US could strike, but every move would invite retaliation, not just from Russia, but China and NATO allies alike. Have you noticed how few simulations consider Arctic warfare? Extreme cold, isolation, and ice make even elite forces vulnerable. Victory isn't guaranteed. Let's talk human cost. Greenland has a small, resilient population. War here would displace thousands, creating humanitarian crises no one is ready to handle. And then there's the hidden prize beneath the ice: rare earth metals and minerals. And an attack might be motivated more by resources than just military dominance. Show infographic. Greenland's ice contains 10% of the world's fresh water. Bombs here don't just kill people, they endanger water supply for millions worldwide. Imagine New York, London, Tokyo, watching ice melt, seas rise, trade disrupted. The economic shock alone could trigger global recession. Personally, I've seen military planners underestimate nature's role. You can have thousands of tanks, but you cannot control glaciers, storms, or polar darkness. Scene 19. Let's explore logistics. Greenland has limited ports, frozen seas, and treacherous ice sheets. Supplying an invading army would be a nightmare. Even air raids risk crashing planes into icy winds, losing elite pilots, and exposing equipment to temperatures that break machines. Your nuclear weapons? Detonating them in Greenland is catastrophic. Fallout spreads across the Arctic, North America, Europe. Planetary consequences. Most analysts ignore this. Any attack would violate international treaties, destabilize the Arctic Council, and provoke decades of diplomatic chaos. Personally, I believe true power isn't about bombs, it's about influence, deterrence, and control. Greenland is valuable because of what it represents, not just what lies beneath. Imagine Russia and China watching silently, recalculating every strategy, moving fleets, modernizing arsenals. Every missile fired reshapes global geopolitics. Here's a shocking statistic. 40% of the world's undiscovered mineral resources may lie beneath Greenland's ice. That's a treasure map wrapped in frost. Militarily, Greenland is a nightmare. Cold, the isolation, constant storms, even advanced drones struggle to navigate the blinding ice glare. Satellite coverage is vital. Thule Base controls missile warning over the North Pole. Attempting to disable it could trigger unintended escalation. Personally, this scenario teaches one thing. No weapon can outrun nature's power. Firepower meets ice, and ice rarely loses. Cyber warfare would accompany any strike. Attacking Greenland isn't just bombs and missiles. Disrupting communication networks is key. But even technology falters in sub-zero Arctic conditions. Have you considered supply chains? If Greenland falls into chaos, shipping routes, Arctic trade corridors, and even fishing rights are disrupted for years. Environmental disasters would follow. Melting ice adds billions of tons of water to the ocean. Sea levels rise as coastal cities face unprecedented flooding. And let's not forget global politics. NATO meetings, UN emergency sessions, and new treaties would emerge almost overnight. Every leader recalculates risk. Personally, I see a lesson. Aggression in fragile zones doesn't just affect one country, it reshapes the world order. Greenland is a warning, not just a target. Imagine a war where every step is uncertain. Ice breaks, storms appear, drones fail. The US could dominate in theory, but in reality, nature dominates. Here's what most people miss. Greenland is more than land. It's the intersection of climate, strategy, and resource power. Attack it, and you attack the planet. The psychological impact alone is enormous. Citizens across the world would feel the threat. Panic, fear, uncertainty. Stock markets would crash, alliances tested. I'm personally reflecting on this. I realize that war isn't just military, it's environmental, economic, political, and psychological. Greenland is a case study in global fragility. Have you thought about the long-term consequences? Even if the US succeeds, the damage to credibility, environment, and alliances would last decades. Here's the final insight. True power isn't taking territory, it's maintaining stability, influence, and foresight. Attacking Greenland could destroy all three. So, next time you think about global conflicts, remember Greenland. Sometimes, the most strategic move isn't to attack, it's to understand, respect, and plan wisely. The world watches silently, waiting for those who miscalculate. Pause, dramatic emphasis.